Welcome to our channel. Today we are exploring the fascinating history of top 7. First up, the 1966 1 dime, officially known as the Roosevelt dime. This special coin was issued during a unique period when the United States Mint removed mint marks due to a nationwide coin shortage. Even without a mint mark, this 1966 dime carries an important story from America's transitional coinage era. The 1966 1 dime refers to the 10-cent coin of the United States, officially known as the Roosevelt dime. This coin was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was also closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio, making the dime a meaningful tribute to his legacy. The obverse front of the coin features Roosevelt's portrait, while the reverse back shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. The year 1966 is especially important in U.S. coin history because it was during a time of major coin shortage in America. From 1965 to 1967, the United States Mint removed mint marks from coins to discourage collectors from hoarding them. That is why the 1966 dime does not have a mint mark. Even though most 1966 dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark appears on the coin. This makes it normal for a 1966 dime to have no mint mark. It is not an error but part of official policy during that period. Another major change had already taken place just 1 year earlier. Before 1965, dimes were made of 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices and coin shortages, the U.S. government switched to a clad composition in 1965. The 1966 dime is made of a copper-nickel clad composition containing no silver. It has a copper core with outer layers of copper and nickel. The coin weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. This change marked the end of the silver era for regular circulation dimes. In terms of mintage, over 2 billion 1966 dimes were produced, making it one of the most common Roosevelt dimes ever made. Because of this high mintage, most 1966 dimes found in circulation today are worth only their face value of 10 cents. Even in circulated or dirty condition, the coin usually has no extra premium unless it has a rare error or is an extremely high uncirculated grade. However, some collectors look for special varieties or errors. Rare error coins such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet can be worth significantly more. Additionally, coins graded in very high mint state condition MS67 or higher by professional grading companies can sometimes sell for higher prices at auction. But these are uncommon cases. Historically, the 1966 dime represents a transitional period in American coinage. It reflects the economic pressures of the 1960s, the removal of silver from circulating coins, and the temporary elimination of mint marks. Though it is not rare in normal condition, it holds historical importance as part of the modern clad coinage era. In conclusion, the 1966 1 dime without a mint mark is a regular issue coin from a unique period in U.S. history. While it may not be highly valuable in dirty or circulated condition, it remains an important piece of American numismatic history and a reminder of the changes that shaped today's coin system. Next up, the 1967 dime without a mint mark is officially known as the Roosevelt dime, and it holds an interesting place in American coin history. This coin was produced during a very unusual period for United States coinage. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. was facing a serious coin shortage. Many people were hoarding silver coins because the value of silver was rising. To stop collectors and speculators from saving newly minted coins, the United States Mint made a historic decision. From 1965 through 1967, all circulating coins were struck without mint marks, regardless of where they were produced. Because of this special rule, the 1967 dime does not carry a P, D, or S mint mark. Even though it has no mint mark, it was actually produced at multiple facilities including Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint. The removal of mint marks was meant to discourage collectors from searching for specific mint varieties. This policy ended in 1968, when mint marks were restored to U.S. coins. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper-nickel clad mixture. Before 1965, dimes were made of 90% silver, but after the passage of the Coinage Act of 1965, silver was removed from dimes and quarters for circulation. Therefore, the 1967 dime contains no silver. It has a weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. The coin features President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse front, honoring his leadership and his support for the March of Dimes campaign. The reverse side shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, with an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. In terms of mintage, more than 1.8 billion dimes were struck in 1967. Because such a large number were produced, the coin is very common today. In circulated or dirty condition, a 1967 dime is usually worth only its face value of 10 cents. Even in better circulated grades, the value typically remains between 10 cents and 25 cents. However, coins in uncirculated mint state condition can sell for $2 to $10 depending on quality. Only exceptionally well-preserved examples graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services can reach higher prices, sometimes $50 or more. Although the 1967 dime without a mint mark is not rare, it is historically important because it represents a time of major change in U.S. coin production. It marks the transition from silver to clad coinage and reflects the government's effort to control coin hoarding during a national shortage. For collectors, it may not be extremely valuable, but it remains an important piece of modern American numismatic history. Next up, the 1977 one dime without mint mark is officially known as the 1977 Roosevelt dime, struck at the United States Mint. When a 1977 dime has no mint mark, it means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During 1977, the Philadelphia facility did not place a mint mark on dimes, so this is completely normal and not an error. Many collectors in Pakistan and around the world often get excited when they see a coin without a mint mark, but for this specific year, it simply identifies the Philadelphia issue. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946 to honor the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was chosen because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and also because of his strong support for the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio. The obverse front of the 1977 dime features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, along with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1977. The reverse back shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, with an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. By 1977, the composition of the dime was already changed from silver to a copper-nickel-clad format. Since 1965, U.S. dimes have been made of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers, with a pure copper core inside. This means the 1977 dime does not contain silver and does not have intrinsic precious metal value. The coin weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9. In terms of mintage, hundreds of millions of 1977 dimes were struck in Philadelphia. Because of this high production, the coin is very common today. In circulated and dirty condition, a 1977 dime without mint mark is generally worth face value 10 cents. Even in cleaner circulated condition, its value remains around 10 cents to 25 cents. However, in uncirculated mint state grades, especially MS65 and above, the value can range from $2 to $15 depending on quality. Only coins with exceptional condition, strong luster, and no contact marks can reach higher prices. Some collectors search for rare mint errors such as off-center strikes, double die errors, or wrong planchet strikes in 1977 dimes. These error coins can sometimes sell for $50, $100, or more depending on the type and severity of the mistake. But a normal 1977 dime without mint mark is not rare by itself. In conclusion, the 1977 one dime without mint mark is a regular Philadelphia issue coin from the Roosevelt dime series. It has historical importance because of the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, but in today's market, it is generally not a rare or highly valuable coin unless it is in perfect uncirculated condition or has a genuine mint error. If you have one in very dirty condition, it is most likely worth its face value, but it is still a nice collectible piece of American coin history. Next up, the 1976 one dime without mint mark is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series of the United States. This coin features President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States from 1933 to 1945. After his death in 1945, the U.S. government decided to honor him on the dime because of his strong support for the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime, and it has remained in production ever since. The 1976 dime was minted during an important year in American history. The year 1976 marked the bicentennial of the United States, celebrating 200 years of independence since 1776. While special bicentennial designs were created for the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins, the dime did not receive a special reverse design. The 1976 dime kept its regular appearance with Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse front and a torch, olive branch and oak branch on the reverse back. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch symbolizes strength and independence. If your 1976 dime has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1976, most Philadelphia dimes did not carry a mint mark, which is why many coins from that year appear without any letter below the date. Other dimes from that year may have a D mint mark for the Denver Mint or an S for the San Francisco Mint, but the majority of circulation coins without mint marks came from Philadelphia. The 1976 Roosevelt dime is made of a copper-nickel clad composition. Since 1965, U.S. dimes have contained no silver for regular circulation strikes. Instead, they are composed of a pure copper core with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. Because millions of these coins were produced in 1976, they are still very common today in circulation and coin collections. In terms of value, a 1976 dime without mint mark is generally worth its face value of 10 cents if it is heavily worn or in average circulated condition. In uncirculated condition, especially in high mint state grades, it can be worth a few dollars depending on quality. However, coins with special errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers can be more valuable to collectors. Proof versions were also made in San Francisco with an S mint mark, and those proof coins are more collectible, especially in perfect condition. Overall, the 1976 dime without mint mark represents both American history and everyday currency. While it may not be rare or extremely valuable, it holds historical importance as part of the bicentennial year and the long-standing Roosevelt dime series. For coin collectors and history lovers alike, this small silver-colored coin is a reminder of America's 200th anniversary and the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Next up, the 1978 one dime without a mint mark is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series of the United States. This coin represents an important era in modern American coinage and continues to attract collectors because of its history, design, and minting background. The 1978 dime belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946. The coin was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as President of the United States from 1933 until 1945. Roosevelt was widely respected for leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also strongly associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio. Because of his efforts, the U.S. Mint decided to place his portrait on the dime shortly after his death. Now talking specifically about the 1978 dime without a mint mark. When a 1978 dime does not have any mint mark, it means the coin was struck at the United States Mint facility in Philadelphia. During that time, Philadelphia coins often did not carry a mint mark, except in certain special years. So a 1978 dime without a mint mark is not an error. It simply indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The obverse front of the 1978 dime shows the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Around the portrait, you will see the word Liberty, the national motto In God We Trust, and the year 1978. On the reverse back of the coin, there is a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, and on the right side is an oak branch representing strength and independence. The words United States of America and one dime appear around the design. By 1978, dimes were no longer made of silver. After 1965, due to rising silver prices, the composition changed to a copper-nickel-clad structure. The 1978 dime is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers, bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1978 dimes, making it a very common coin in circulation. Because of this high mintage, the 1978 dime without a mint mark is generally not rare. In circulated, used, or dirty condition, its value is usually just face value, 10 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, most 1978 Philadelphia dimes are worth only a small premium, typically between $1 and $5 depending on condition and grading. However, certain rare error varieties can increase the value significantly. For example, coins with off-center strikes, double die errors, or other minting mistakes can be worth much more to collectors. High-grade specimens certified by professional grading companies may also command higher prices, especially if they are in near-perfect condition. Historically, the 1978 dime represents a period of stable coin production in the United States during the late 1970s. It reflects the continuation of Roosevelt's legacy, and the long-running design that has remained largely unchanged for decades. Even though it is not considered a rare or extremely valuable coin, it holds historical and sentimental importance as part of everyday American currency. In conclusion, the 1978 one dime without a mint mark is a Philadelphia mint issue from the Roosevelt dime series. It is a common modern coin made of copper-nickel clad material, typically worth face value unless found in exceptional condition or with rare errors. While it may not make someone rich overnight, it remains a meaningful piece of American numismatic history. Next up, the 1970 dime without a mint mark is officially known as the 1970 Roosevelt dime struck at the United States Mint. This coin is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was chosen for the dime because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and also because of his strong connection to the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio. Classical building design and appearance. The 1970 dime features the same classic design introduced in 1946 by sculptor John R. Sinek. Obverse front, a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Around the portrait are the words Liberty in God We Trust and the year 1970. Reverse back, a torch in the center symbolizing liberty with an olive branch on the left peace and an oak branch on the right strength. The words United States of America and one dime appear around the design. Factory. What does no mint mark mean? In 1970, dimes were produced at different mint facilities. Coins struck in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark at that time, so if your 1970 dime has no mint mark, it means it was made in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes in 1970, making it a very common coin in circulation. Because of this high production, most 1970 no mint mark dimes are not rare. Gear metal composition. By 1970, U.S. dimes were no longer made of silver. After 1965, due to rising silver prices, the composition changed to a clad structure. Outer layers 75% copper and 25% nickel. Core pure copper. Weight 2.27 grams. Diameter 17.91. So, unlike pre-1965 dimes, the 1970 dime contains no silver. Dollar banknote value of 1970 no mint mark dime today. In circulated, used, dirty condition, a 1970 no mint mark dime is usually worth 10 cents to 30 cents, face value or slightly above. In uncirculated mint state condition, it may be worth $1 to $5, depending on quality. Higher grades certified by companies like PCGS or NGC can sell for $10.25 or more. However, only coins in perfect or near-perfect condition, MS65 or higher, bring premium prices. Star rare errors and special varieties. While the normal 1970 dime is common, some error coins can be valuable. These include off-center strikes, double die errors, wrong planchet errors, missing clad layer errors. If you find a 1970 dime with a strange look, unusual weight, or design doubling, it could be worth much more than face value. Scroll historical importance. Even though the 1970 no mint mark dime is not rare, it represents an important time in U.S. coin history. The late 1960s and early 1970s were a transition period after the removal of silver from circulating coins. The coin also continues the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt and his impact on American history. Magnifying glass tilted rate. Final thoughts. The 1970 dime without a mint mark is a common but historically meaningful coin. In dirty or circulated condition, it is usually worth only face value, but if you find one in excellent condition or with a rare error, it could be worth more. Next up, the 1982 D1 dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series of the United States. This coin features President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States from 1933 until his death in 1945. Roosevelt was honored on the dime shortly after his passing because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and also because of his strong support for the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio. The Roosevelt dime design was first introduced in 1946 and has remained in circulation ever since, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1982 D dime was struck at the Denver Mint in Denver, Colorado. The D mint mark on the coin represents the Denver Mint. During the early 1980s, the United States economy was going through inflation and recession challenges, but coin production remained high because of public demand for circulating currency. In 1982, hundreds of millions of dimes were produced at the Denver facility, making the 1982 D dime a very common coin in everyday circulation. Because of this large mintage, the coin is not considered rare in standard circulated condition. The composition of the 1982 D dime is a copper-nickel-clad composition. It contains an inner core of pure copper bonded between two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. Unlike older dimes minted before 1965, which were made of 90% silver, the 1982 D dime contains no silver. This change from silver to clad composition began in 1965 due to rising silver prices and the need to reduce production costs. In terms of design details, the obverse front of the coin displays a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The inscriptions include Liberty along the left side, In God We Trust below the chin, and the date, 1982, to the right of the portrait. The D mint mark is located just above the date. The reverse back of the coin shows a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The words United States of America and One Dime are also inscribed, along with the motto EPLURIBUS UNUM. In circulated or dirty condition, a 1982 D dime usually holds only its face value of 10 cents. Even in average circulated condition, collectors generally value it at around 10 cents to 30 cents. In uncirculated mint state condition, the value may range from $1 to $5 depending on its grade and luster. Only coins graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services can bring significantly higher prices, sometimes reaching $20 to $50 or more. However, such high-grade examples are not common. Overall, the 1982 D Roosevelt dime is not considered a rare or ultra-valuable coin, but it remains an important part of American coinage history. It represents a period of economic transition in the United States and continues the legacy of honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt on everyday currency. While it may not make someone rich overnight, it is still a meaningful collectible for coin enthusiasts who appreciate U.S. history and numismatics. Next up, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been a mainstay in U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1946. The dime was first minted to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, commemorating his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his association with the March of Dimes campaign for polio prevention. The P mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which historically is the largest and oldest mint facility in the United States. In 1984, the Philadelphia Mint produced billions of dimes, making the coin widely circulated and commonly found in everyday transactions. From a design perspective, the 1984 P dime follows the classic Roosevelt design, featuring a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. The words Liberty and In God We Trust are inscribed around his portrait, with the year 1984 prominently displayed below. The reverse showcases a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing peace, liberty, and strength. This design has remained essentially unchanged since its debut, providing collectors and historians with a consistent iconography representing Roosevelt's legacy. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel clad, giving it durability for daily use while maintaining its silver-like appearance. Although the 1984 P dime is not considered rare due to its high mintage, it still holds interest among collectors for several reasons. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can command modest premiums over face value, particularly if they display strong luster, sharp details, and no signs of wear. Additionally, certain error varieties from that year, such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or striking anomalies, can be particularly valuable to specialized collectors. Even in circulated condition, the 1984 P dime serves as a representative piece of 1980s U.S. coinage, reflecting the economic, cultural, and numismatic history of that era. Overall, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime is a fascinating example of mid to late 20th century U.S. coinage. While it may not hold the extreme rarity of earlier Roosevelt dimes, it remains a key collectible for those completing Roosevelt dime sets, exploring Philadelphia mint issues, or studying American coinage history. Its continued popularity among both novice and advanced collectors ensures that this small, everyday coin carries with it a legacy far greater than its monetary value might suggest.